Hi, you guys. Welcome back for our daily practice questions. As always, I like to first get into my introduction and disclaimer before getting started with our questions for today. So, for those of you who are familiar with me, hey, y'all. For those of you who are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Dr. Brittany Weinstock. I am a family nurse practitioner, and I am the founder and CEO of the Nursing Studio. I provide resources, tools, review courses, review videos, review books, one on one sessions, Q banks, and more to assist nurses as well as nurse practitioners with success on their boards as well as in practice. I've been doing this since 2015, assisting nurses and nurse practitioners internationally with exam success. Now, y'all know I always like to go over my disclaimer reminder because we know there's no absolutes in medicine. We treat on a patient by patient basis, and any of the questions that you see here, I have designed and created based on the current guidelines being tested on the ANCC as well as AANP exam. Now, any of the videos that you may see, if I'm teaching on things that we currently do in practice, I will always say that so there's no confusion. So, with that being said, let's get into question number one for today. Question number one states a patient presents to the office with complaints of vaginal discharge that is greenish in color. Upon examination, the nurse practitioner notes cervical motion tenderness. Based on the presentation, what is the best differential diagnosis? Is it A, chlamydia, B, bacterial vaginosis, C, gonorrhea, or D, trichomonas? Take a moment and tell me what you got in the comments, you guys. All right, so I always recommend reading the stem of the question first as it allows you to slow down to ensure you're answering what is being asked of you. So here the stem of the question states, based on the presentation, what is the best differential diagnosis? So I always tell you if they're asking about a diagnosis, you need to run it back and look at the assessment findings. So this patient came in complaining of vaginal discharge that has a greenish color. And upon examination, the nurse practitioner notes cervical motion tenderness. So, my saying, when I say this, you say that. So, one, discharge and cervical motion tenderness, you need to think chlamydia and gonorrhea. But when that discharge is greenish in color, think G and G, green and G for gonorrhea. Gonorrhea is the one that typically presents with that greenish discharge. So, your best answer here is C, gonorrhea. Question number two, the nurse practitioner has gonorrhea as a differential diagnosis. What test should be completed to confirm this diagnosis? Is it A, a blood sample, B, wet mount, C, an AAT, or D, no test is needed. This will resolve on its own. Take a moment and tell me what you got, you guys. All right, so the stem of the question here states, what test should be completed to confirm this diagnosis? All right, so here they're telling you that the nurse practitioner has gonorrhea as a differential diagnosis. To confirm this diagnosis, the first testing that is recommended by guidelines and CDC for chlamydia, gonorrhea, and majority of the STDs/STIs is C, the NAAT testing. Now, if this patient had come in and it stated that they had gonorrhea, was treated previously, and they're continuing to be symptomatic, and you're considering treating additionally, you want to do both testing, okay? So even if this is the first time with them coming to you, doing a sample, but also getting antimicrobial samples as well, because the NAT test alone will not give you those antimicrobial findings because you want to be sure that we're treating with the most effective antibiotic, okay? All right, and lastly, question number three. Uncomplicated gonorrhea has been confirmed as a diagnosis. What is the first line treatment option? Is it A, ceftriaxone, B, azithromycin, C, Bactrim, or D, amoxicillin? Take a moment and tell me what you got. All right, and the stem of the question here states, what is the first line treatment option? I always tell you, no matter what, if they're asking you for a treatment, you need to run it back and see if there is a provided diagnosis. And if they have not provided the diagnosis in the question, take it back a step further and look at those assessment findings so you can determine a diagnosis, okay? So here they have provided a diagnosis of uncomplicated gonorrhea. Now, first line therapy for uncomplicated gonorrhea is A, ceftriaxone. Uncomplicated gonorrhea is A, ceftriaxone, aka Rocephin. So make sure you know brand and generic name because if they put it on there either way, you need to be able to determine this. Now, when I tell you when you're studying, know your first line, know your second line, etc., right? So what do you do if they have like a cephalosporin allergy and can't do ceftriaxone? You would give them gentamicin plus the azithromycin, okay? And in the event that we were coach reading, you would go with doxy. But reminder, I told you that when we just did chlamydia a couple of days ago, that I'm going to do a coach reading. I just wanted to kind of walk through each of them alone, so that you know the steps, first line, second line, etc. On each of these STDs, and then later this week I'll do a coach reading video, so you know how to apply that in different question formats. In the event of, for example, if one test hasn't been determined, if it has been determined, if they have one or the other or both, how do you coach read? Should you coach read? Because guidelines have changed. So I'll walk through those to kind of help you with that. So be on the lookout for that video this week. All right, you guys. I hope you found this helpful. As always, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share with whomever you may think may find this beneficial as well. But y'all know what to do. Make sure y'all meet me back here. If you need any of the resources that I offer, feel free to reach out to the nursing studio by giving us a call at 803-400-6864 or shoot us a text message to that number. You can also shoot an email to thenursingstudio1@gmail.com. The things that I do offer are my review book. You can get it in an ebook fashion or the paperback option. They're both linked in the bio of this channel. If you prefer to review independently, I have a self-paced review that is all virtual, designed for family and adult gero, preparing for both exams, the AAMP as well as ANCC. It is broken down by systems. You can watch the videos repeatedly. That's also linked in the bio of this channel. The 5-week intensive group review for family and adult gero. Our last one starts next week, September the 9th. And there's a 5-week review broken down by system into smaller increments. And then the last week is an individualized week where I do a session with you to gauge where you are, the progress you made, and provide advice on how to proceed before testing. I have one space available, and that is linked in the description of this video. If you are looking for question bank practice testing, I have a few different options. They are all linked in the bio of this channel, where there are one link is for the mini practice quizzes. There are 10 mini quizzes just to test your knowledge and help you study along. With those 10 quizzes, they're just like this. I go over the rationales in video format. So as you're studying, you're able to retain that and understand why the breakdown was that and why the answer is that. There's also 2 practice exams that you will see links to, that you're able to select 1 or 2 for that. And then lastly, there is a link for a bundle where you can get all 3 of those options for almost 500 questions to practice with. So if you're looking for those, that's linked in the bio of this channel, and it's broken down into each one of those ways I just described. And then lastly are the one-on-one sessions. And as always, I say reach out if you're looking to do one-on-one sessions, because they are customized for each person. So we gauge it based off of what you need. But the options that you have are, I do one-on-one sessions based off of weaknesses. So you can book a session for 1 to 2 weaknesses at a time. You can book a session for an exam readiness assessment to gauge if you're ready for boards, or if there's certain areas or particulars that you need to review before. And then lastly are the custom plans. The custom plans, you're provided with a pretest to gauge where you currently are. And then based off of the time that you're looking to allot to review, I work alongside with you during that duration to take you to a successful exam attempt. So if you need any of those, like I say, feel free to reach out to us so we can see what you truly need, because they are customized. But as always, y'all know what to do. Make sure y'all meet me back here. Happy studying. Bye, y'all.